Hello there, Ken Monty here. We're going to do some cigar making video tutorial. How I do it doesn't mean it's the right way. Last video I did, we just wrapped a pre-made and molded bunch, and this time I'm going to show you from the leaf preparation to the blending and the bunching and then putting them in the mold. What I did, these are the leaves that I'm going to use for the binders. You have the fillers, the binders, and the wrappers, and I chose a few Connecticut broadleaf and some Havana seed. It's called Havana 7. And what I did was I misted these leaves last night with some water from just a sprayer, and then put them in a bag, plastic bag, closed it up tight, and let them sit overnight, because with the binder you want a moist, elastic leaf. Okay, so that you can stretch it. You don't want it real wet like the wrapper, but it's got an elastic type of pull to it because you wrap around the filler. And I always love the smell of weed. And what I could do while it's a leaf still in a whole part is sort of pull it apart, and you see, and it's got some holes. Binder doesn't have to be perfect. Some binder can be used as wrapper. This is almost wrapper quality. It's veiny, but it's a good leaf. And what I do first is I hold it and I pick out a little piece of the stem down the middle. I take it and then I go like that and toss the vein, and you end up with a left and a right side of the leaf, and I sort them out, the left and the right, because you have to roll one way with one and the other way with the other. And you take another one, you pull it apart. See, that has a hole in it, got some holes in it, still fine, because it's going to unravel right at that, it's going to wrap right at that spot. I take a piece of the vein down the middle, take the vein and wrap it around like that, and throw that away. I end up with two pieces. And once again, it's not like wrapper. You try not to tear it, but then I sort it out, the left and the right side. And sometimes I use two leaves as a binder, sometimes I use one leaf as a binder. It all depends on what I'm doing and what I feel like making. Okay, and then you take another one. Pull it apart a little bit. Take the little piece, take it, and wrap it around like that. Sometimes it goes easy, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just going to throw them all right there and store them after, so I can get the leaf, pull a little piece, and go like that, and you got more pieces, and take another one, take the vein out of the center, and just go like that, and take you got two more, And another one. And this one's pretty beat up here. But I'll still use it. I'll probably only get the 1/2. And if it's really bad, use it as filler. This one's pretty torn apart. It's hard to get. This is definitely going to be a filler piece. There's other ways to do it too. See, that's kind of useless, but it's good for binder. And that was a Havana 7, and I just separated the Connecticut broadleaf. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. I pull it apart, take a little piece of the main vein out. You take it, you hold it, and you just go like that, and you got your stem and the main part of the leaf. Okay, and that's prepping the binder. Sometimes it comes in all different forms. Sometimes it comes already done. Sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on what your sources are. Okay, as you can see, here I have the Havana 7, and here I have the Connecticut broadleaf. It looks all wrinkly and everything, but it's pretty oily and moist is what you really want for a good binder. You can really, if you get a close up, you can see, you'll be able to stretch it real nice, and it'll get a real tight wrap around that binder. And if you've done a bunch correctly, you can almost smoke it without the wrapper. No, you can't smoke it without the wrapper. It'll smoke fine. The wrapper just is like the skin, and it adds another dimension to flavor. And but it's really all in the blending and the bunching and the molding that makes a cigar. It's the foundation for the cigar. I have them ready to go now. There's another step, and I'll show you in a second. What I'm going to do in this step is I'm going to take my Chevetta, it's a Chevetta, out of the way. I'm going to just spray these lightly, just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is, you got the left and the right, left and the right. I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it from the front back, because I'm going to store these and use them when I actually get the filler prepared. And these will be in the plastic bag, staying moist until I actually use them. And I do this, and it really, the moisture gets all through. And what I do to make it easy to identify the leaves, because you get a lot of different leaves. I mean, if you look closely, you can see a color difference. This is a lighter, more sheen, and this is a more flat looking. But just to make it easier, what I do is I'll take one of the stems and put it around there like this. Keep them together, then take another stem and wrap it around these ones. Keep them two together. And I will put a tag, just so I remember. I'm going to put this one on the Connecticut broadleaf, so I know and I'll put it around my knot so it doesn't come loose. And then I'll take my plastic bag again. By the way, I have my Rodrigo shirt on. Rodrigo Cigars. George Rodriguez owns the company. It's a very good cigar. And then I'll just shoot some water in it just to keep it moist. And I'll be bunching these probably in an hour or so. This is just to keep it and then I will put this inside my rehydrating cooler doors I have back there, and I shall return. Okay, now I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull out some filler tobaccos. I keep them all in Tupperwares and different things. This is aged Nicaraguan Ligero. No, I'm sorry. This is Nicaraguan Seco. It's the same principle. Depending on the ring gauge thickness cigar you're going to make, and the length of the cigar you're going to make, it's how many leaves you're going to use and how many you're going to prepare. I like to prepare all my leaves before I do anything. So, and you're also limited to the tobacco. It's a natural product, so obviously you can't make a big cigar with a leaf that's this big. I mean, you can by piecing it together, but to get a full leaf. So I'm doing 10 cigars, and this blend is going to be, well, I really don't know right now. I have, as I go, I do it. So I'm just going to take about this many, count them. I figure I'm going to use one full leaf of Nicaraguan Seco, one full leaf of Nicaraguan Ligero, and I have some, this is already all prepped. This is Dominican Velado, and that's ready to go. So this isn't, and this is called a frog leg. This is how you get leaf sometimes, and you can see the leaf like this. This is the filler, and it's in a frog leg. Sometimes a lot of rollers will just work like this. The N2 bar method of rolling is you will roll it into tubes, you'll hold it in your hand, then you'll roll another tube, and you keep on putting, you always put the points of the leaves up and the ends of the leaves down, and this is the part you'd light. But I like to take all the stems out, so what I'll do is it's a slow process. It takes a while to get all the stems out. And there's one, and here's a leaf. There's a little piece on the end. I still get it all out. So you end up with 2 half leaves. Okay, same thing as a binder, except the binder you'll use differently. And another one. And this one you have to, it takes a little bit longer, and I am no pro by any means, so it takes me even longer. But I like to get all the stems out. I make these to smoke, and I make these to give to my friends. And actually these ones I'm making, unfortunately a very good friend of mine that's in the cigar community's sister was murdered recently, and he is having a raffle of cigar and cigar related products to raise funds for her child, and I'm to make 10 or so cigars and give them to him so he can raffle them off. Hopefully he'll make some money. It's an unfortunate thing that happens. And you just keep on taking the stems out. And you basically get to see that. This one came apart in 2 pieces. You can piece it together. It's an art form, and you know, you don't have to have perfection. And this is the Seiko, and the Ligero, which is this right here. It's thicker. It's the top part of the plant. And I'm just going to take one out and do it. And you can see the difference in the leaves. This is a Seiko leaf, and this is a Ligero leaf. This is darker and thicker, more like cardboard. And you would do the same thing. This stem is this vein is real big, and you just pull it out. There's a lot of waste when you make your own cigars. This tobacco just smells tremendous. It really does. If you're a cigar person and you like the smell of unlit cigars or lit cigars, doesn't matter, but it just smells so good. And here's a Ligero, and same thing, 2 halves. So what you'll do is, through experience, you know your blends, and actually these 10 cigars I'm going to use like 45% Nicaraguan Ligero, 45% Nicaraguan Seiko, and I have some Maduro pieces that I'm going to use 10%. So it's going to be a 3-blend cigar. The Nicaraguan Ligero, Nicaraguan Seiko, and the Maduro I have is Pennsylvania Maduro. It's really nice. And then I have the 2 separate kind of wrappers, and I'm going to make like 6 with the Havana seed and the other 4 with the Connecticut broadleaf. And as far as wrapper goes, that's another part of the tape. And this has been the preparation process. It takes a while. I'm not anywhere near close, but I'm not going to bore you and do it in front of you. I just wanted to show the process. So here you have some leaf ready and prepared. Here's the Seiko. Here's the Ligero. And that's Nicaraguan Seiko, that's Nicaraguan Ligero, and this is Dominican Republic Volado. And this is just the beginning of the preparation stage. I have some more to do. I just wanted to show you where I was at. And after the preparation stage comes the blending, bunching, and binding stage. And then whether you're going to freehand it or you're going to put it in a mold, it's all depend. And if you're going to smoke a cigar or roll a cigar and smoke it, there's no need to put it in a mold. Who cares what it looks like? As long as it smokes well and tastes well, you've hit a home run. But this is the beginning of a cigar. I now have a large percentage of the filler tobaccos ready to go. They're in my Tupperware container, and I put this in my rehydrating storage unit in my cigar room, and when I'm ready to use everything, I pull it all out. So away to the storage room. What I've decided to do now is grab my wrapper leaf that I'm going to wrap the cigars with. I'm going to make 10 cigars, and out of each full wrapper leaf, you cut it in half and get 2 wrappers. So I'm going to use, it's going to be a fairly strong blend of binder and filler. So I got 4. It's a Connecticut shade wrapper. It's very delicate, and it doesn't as much add to the flavor of the cigar. It does slightly, but it's sort of like a salt and pepper kind of thing, you know. It accentuates what's there. And I have 4 leaves, so that's 8 wrappers. And the other, I'm going to do 5 like that, and I'm going to do 5 with a darker, oilier Maduro leaf. Instead of putting any Maduro inside, I've changed that. I'm going to use a Maduro wrapper. And now what I have to do, so this is enough theoretically to wrap 16 cigars, but I always overestimate the amount of wrappers I get ready, because if there's a hole in one or something happens and when you're preparing it, break it into 2, you lose a wrapper. So I always like to do that more. Why I'm doing this now in the middle of the bunching blending process is, what I do is I take them, I mist them just a little bit, then I take a bag, a non-scented garbage bag or plastic bag, put some water in it, and now I won't have to separate these because these are obviously so different in color that I'll be able to know which one I'm using. Get some of that water on there. Now, you can, anywhere from a couple hours to overnight to get these rehydrated. And what I'll do is, in a few hours, I'll take these out and I'll spread them apart more so the water is fully soaked throughout the leaf. I'll put them in this bag like this, and I'll let these sit overnight, because more than likely I won't get too far in the process tonight. So I'll do this, I'll wrap them up nice, and when I hang them, I put all the top of the leaves on one side and the part of the leaf that comes out of the stem of the plant, the other part, and when I go put them down, I'll hang them like this so the water drips through, and these will be ready. They'll probably be ready in 2 or 3 hours, but I let them go overnight. If you let them stay moist for too long, they become moldy. So you can't prepare leaf to fully use and let it sit for a long time, because it molds. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I blend and bunch. Okay, I got a damp paper towel, my knife, or my working surface. Chavetta, this is a tuck cutter, might not need it. Rolling pin, possibly. Cigar box with all sorts of doodads in it. Tools. I have my binder that you saw I put in the bag. It was last night. I stopped the tape and I started it again. I have my 50 ring gauge mold. I'm not going to make, I'm going to make, we'll see, about a Robusto, depending on how the leaves work out. Okay, so the first thing that I do is move this camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I moved the camera more on the straight down, so you'll probably just see my hands. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab some of the Havana, just one piece of the binder. Okay, and I had it like that. So I'm going to undo this. Take one, wrap the rest of them up, put them back. They stay better. I am by no means a factory, so I don't worry too much about speed. Okay, the first thing I do, I'm going to get rid of this, is I look at the leaf. There's a hole there. I take it, I try to smooth it out the best I can. And I always work the same way. Okay, and you'll notice that this is a part of the leaf that the sun hits. This is the back of the leaf that's pointed towards the ground. So how you have to roll it, the binder is with the veins on the inside, so that you end up with veins. Okay, so you see the veins. Here's how the leaf is. The veins go like that. What you want to do is you want to set your binder leaf so that your veins are running parallel with the cigar. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to guess here. We'll try one whole Ligero. That's a telephone. Sorry. Okay, back. Okay, so I have the binder. One whole Ligero leaf. And one Seiko leaf. And I'm going to get some of this Viso. It's Dominican and one Dominican. Now, it's a kind of feel thing. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this, I don't ever do this, but some people do this and it squishes the veins a little bit. I don't know if it's needed. These are pretty good leaves. But it does flatten it a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is start with, I'm going to make a Robusto, and that's about how big a Robusto is. So what I'm going to do is, in this situation, I'm going to cut these just to make it easier. Okay, so top of the leaf, bottom of the leaf. You have to watch. I like veins in. I'll take one. Roll it up like that in my hand. Take another one. Roll it up in my hand like that. Take another one. I like to put my veins, put it like that. And I'm feeling it as I go. Excuse me for a second. Then I'll take the last piece of Ligero and roll it up like that. So now I have a handful of Ligeros. Then I'll take my Seco, roll it up, put it in there, another Seco, roll it up, put it in a different spot, another one, roll it up, put it in a different spot, and I'm trying to feel if it's even. Here's a smaller piece, roll it up, and I'm going to put it in a spot where I believe I need a little bit more to make it even, okay? Then I'm going to take the Viso. We don't need this end piece, scraps, okay? Now, I feel that what I have in my hand, I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put this one in a different spot. Now I feel what I have in my hand is going to make a decent size. So the tops of the leaves are all here. So I put that right on my binder. Now this is a big binder, so a lot of people use 2 binders. These are big, so I'm just going to use the one. And then you just sort of work it. A correctly bunched cigar can be smoked after this point. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I forgot to get my glue. Here's the glue. There's a little bit in there. Okay, and I just continue working it, and I'm feeling it as I go. And then I just take a little bit of glue and put it on the end there. Actually, that's not close enough to the end. Okay, and it feels like it's going to be about a 50. And what I like to do is I like to make sure this end is flat. And that's more scrap. So much scrap, it's unbelievable. Okay. Okay. And then you end up like that. Now that's a bunch with the little tail. I don't need that much. I'll cut that off. And then what I'll do is I'll take my 50 ring gauge mold. Now this is all touch and feel. This should just fit in there nice. Not too tight, just like that. It's just slide in there just like that. And what I like to do is I put it in and then you push up against there. Okay, and what's going to happen is then you're going to take this part of the mold and you go like this, and you're going to put it in, and it's going to make it, you don't want it tight. That actually looks good. A lot of the times, you know, your cigars go way out there. I could have had it out there and made a full 7, I think it's a 7.25 inch mold, but when I trim them, they're going to be about Robusto size. So there's one. Okay, now I'll do another one. Okay, and that worked out good. That amount of tobacco, I kind of just guessed. So, I have my Viso already there. I was going to use 2, I only used 1. I have my full Ligero leaf and my full Seiko leaf. Okay, so that's ready. Now what I'm going to do is take another binder out. Now one half of the binder you have to roll towards the left, the other half you have to roll towards the right. Here's another binder. Now it's elasticy. The binder is very elasticy. It works best. So I take it and, it's a feel thing. Try to get a little rip there, but that's the binder. Okay. Update. Up to 5 of them done, and I'm continuing to move on. Okay, for the second batch of 5, equal 10, I switched to an aged Colombian Seiko, and I got okay, I made the first 5 bunches with these first 5 here are Nicaraguan Ligero, Nicaraguan Seco, and Dominican Volado. I now switched my blend. The next 5 are going to be the same binder, and I switched the Seiko to a Colombian Seiko. So from here to here is going to be Nicaraguan Ligero, Colombian Seiko, and the Havana 7 binder, the same binder. So we're going to have 5 and 5 different blends, 2 different blends. So I got the Colombian Seiko out, and I sort of prepared it, and I have the Ligero. Everything's on here. Here's the Colombian Seiko, here's the Ligero, and here's some pieces of Ligero and some other stuff in case if I need to fill a little empty spot in the cigar. So once again, I will take out a Havana 7 binder. That one's got a rip in it, but still it's all good. And I will get that ready. This is the end, farthest away from the stem of the plant. And I just spread it out nice. And get it ready. Okay, and that's the end. That's the way you're gonna, and I'm gonna move it a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'll take my Ligero, and I'm gonna use, I didn't prepare this because this is, I used up all that I had prepared from the previous amount. Take this big stem out. So I have a Ligero and one Colombian Seiko. This is a very delicate leaf. These leaves are very delicate. So you have to be careful when you take out the stem. Okay. So that, and then I'm gonna, since I took out one leaf, a half a leaf of Dominican Volado, I'll probably be adding another leaf in there to make up for the loss. So it's gonna be more Seco than Ligero, like 40% Nicaraguan Ligero, 60% Dominican, Colombian Seco. There's your Ligero. Okay, so I start with the thicker leaf in the center. One tube, hold it. Second tube, hold it. Third tube, hold it. Fourth tube, hold it. Ligero. Now Colombian Seco. One tube, hold it. Flip it around. Use this one. This is kind of breaking up as I use it, which is fine. It's all. Another tube, hold it. And this last one. This stuff is really breaking apart. It should be a little more. Okay, now I got my bunch. That sort of feels like it's gonna be fat enough for a 50 ring gauge. Yeah, that'll be good. And then I start the roll. This needs to be right there. And of course, the end is trimmed a little so it's flat or flatter. Yeah, this will be a good one. I'm going to put that right there. This feels a little loose at that spot. Get the glue ready. I'm actually going to roll up another piece and put it right here, because I felt a little thin right there. Okay, and it's rolling up nice now. A little bit of glue. You know, I'm going to cut that right there. Take these pieces out. not how I wanted it. It's kind of a little problematic with this one. There we go. There we go. Like I said, that's going to be good. Once it's in the mold, the mold does all the work, unless if you're rolling it to smoke freehand. Okay, put a little pressure in the back, and this one will be nice once it's molded. Get that out of there, put that out the back, and I have the first blend of these 5, and I have shorter pieces of tobacco, and these are longer pieces of tobacco, because since it's the same binder on the outside, it's going to be harder to differentiate the two, so I'll know after they're molded which one's what. And that one's done, and then when it's all said and done, I'll cut them all pretty much smooth. You'll have a little bit of waste on the end, but scores will all look the same length. And I'm going to make the rest of them, turn this tape off, and go from there. Okay, all the bunches are done. These 5 are the first blend, these 5 are the second blend. I am now going to put them in the mold and let them mold, and that's the bunching process. I have enough scrap to make a test cigar so that I can smoke it and see what it's going to taste like. Okay, there's the press I use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mold and I'm going to put it in this press for about an hour. And what I do is every 15 minutes I take the mold out, I rotate the cigars a quarter of a turn, and then put it back in. And at first I used to mold a lot more, longer time, but the cigars were a little tight, so now I've cut it down tremendously, and I feel it as I go along. And that's the bunching process. I will show you the first quarter turn in 15 minutes, and this part of the video will be over shortly. Okay, here's the first. Here's the first time. It's been about 15 minutes. And you open it up. Okay, and you take each one and turn it a quarter turn. They should pull out just like that. If they're any harder than that, then they're going to be too tight. The draw will be too tight. It's a delicate balance of underfilling and overfilling. Always push it tight against the foot end. Sometimes you gotta go from that end. It's like molding anything. Sometimes you gotta go, that's what I use this tool for. Gets underneath them. It's actually a cigar poker. And you just gotta be careful. Get it in there nice. Boy, if you could smell the aroma that I'm smelling right now, you'd want to smoke one of these like they sit here. It smells so awesome. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid back on, and I'm going to put them in again. And I have to go through that process 3 or 4 times more, and then I will take the bunches out and let them sit until I have time to put the wrappers on, and that'll be another part of the video. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. See ya.